Hello, my sweet summer children. I'm back with the juice to get you through the long night. So, I don't know about y'all, but my life has been really missing something. And actually, that something is American Horror Story. Horror, not horror. So I decided to do some sleuthing and see if I can pick up on the clues that Ryan Murphy has laid down so far and everything I know about season 10 of American Horror Story. And also I'm going to do some theory work. Grab your popcorn because I got the juice. So there was a little teaser trailer that was released and it revealed the name of the new season of American Horror Story, which is Double Feature. So what's a double feature? So back in the day, certain movie theaters would have double features, which is two movies for the price of one. So you would pay your money, buy your concessions, watch one movie, have an intermission, then watch a second movie. Hollywood was basically forcing theaters that wanted to purchase the main big titles, let's call them like title A's. They were forcing these theaters that wanted to buy the title A's into buying title B's as well. And title B was usually not as popular as title A. And it was so shady that the Supreme Court decided in 1948 that Hollywood tying two titles together and being shady in order to sell title B's was illegal. So the double feature practice at theaters started to decline. However, there are still double features that have been screened recently. These are popular movies that have been released and they're just being re-released again as double features in theaters. So for example, they did this one night only thing for Twilight and New Moon where they released them and then they premiered Eclipse. And that's a double feature, or is that a triple feature? I don't know. Either way, they also did Pokemon. The white hero Reshiram and the black hero Zekrom were released as a double feature, but both movies were versions of each other. And I'm not telling you this shit because I think you need a lecture on cinematic practices of the times. I'm going somewhere with this. So in the 1930s, when a movie was released double feature style, a lot of times the movies had no connection to each other. So for example, Doll Boy and Circus of the Dead are two completely separate things. Die Monster Die and Planet of the Vampires 2, two completely separate things. But the double features of today aren't like that. The double features of today are usually telling one story, like Twilight and New Moon, it's one story, or Pokemon, it's one story. So it's okay, so this double feature thing. So will we be getting two completely different stories that have nothing to do with each other? Or will we be getting two stories that go together like peanut butter and jelly? So let me tell you why I think it's the latter. I think it's going to be two stories that go together. So the teaser said we will be getting a story by the sea and a story by the sand. And I believe that somehow they're going to connect, even if they aren't telling the same story. Now, I say this because before Apocalypse was titled Apocalypse, it was titled Double Feature, as you can see from a lot of the promo stuff that's still available on Google. Apocalypse didn't necessarily tell two different stories, but Murder House and The Coven could definitely have been screened as a double feature with Apocalypse premiering right after Twilight, New Moon, and Eclipse. So I could see why they would want to call Apocalypse double feature, but then change it to Apocalypse. And that's just my little tinfoil theory. So after the teaser premiered, Ryan Murphy basically answered a question that a fan had. And basically the answer was that we're going to be having two seasons of American Horror Story in one calendar year. And to me, that could be anywhere from 16 to 24 episodes of American Horror Story. And I am here for it. I'm here for it all the time anyway, but especially since we didn't get any American Horror Story in 2020, it's dry out this bitch. Okay, so WTF, WTF is going on? What is it about? What do we know so far? Honey, I spent so much time scouring the history and lore of Cape Cod and Massachusetts. Let's talk about it. Let's go over the clues. So Ryan Murphy posted this picture. This picture seems to be two monster things moving through the night in Provincetown, Massachusetts. There's also this picture of these teeth, sharp looking teeth was posted as a clue. His Instagram is packed with clues and we're going to go through them. We are also told that one of the clues is in the episode 8 of American Horror Story season 9, 1984. Another clue is that Ryan Murphy said they are doing something that the fans of AHS have been asking for a long time. So let's fine tooth comb this shit. So Ryan Murphy's most recent post as of April the 11th of 2021 was this: the American Horror Story universe is expanding. Comment which story you would like to see most. And there are 6 options: Aliens, Xmas Horror, Bloody Mary, Sirens, Piggyman, Plague. So does this mean that we can exclude these things as being featured in AHS Season 10? Or are they pulling some trickery? And actually, whatever Season 10 is about is already on the board. Like, I swear to God, if you look at it, it looks like Sirens and Aliens are blurred out. So this season could totally already be like about Sirens and Aliens. But anyway, I mean, when they say it's something that the fans have always wanted or have been asking for a long time, it seems like in this fucking fandom, you guys want aliens. Like, I don't know what your obsession is with aliens, but everybody wants aliens. And I'm just over here like, why? Like, I mean, like, it's not that interesting, like, to me. I mean, I don't know. I really didn't love Asylum. Like, I loved Asylum, but then, like, I didn't really love Asylum. Like, I don't know. I don't really care for aliens, but I know a lot of you guys do. So I feel like there could be some alien shit going down, because I feel like y'all be wanting that. And he said it's something that y'all be wanting. I personally like the witches and the ghost houses, but in the fandom, aliens are very, very popular. Even the actors in AHS love the alien stories. And I'm not going to lie, like, I'll love it too. But anyway, Ryan Murphy said it's going to be something that the fans have wanted for a long time. So it could be aliens, and we're going to talk about aliens maybe. But first, more clues. And the clue is this dude. So Ryan Murphy posted on his Instagram this guy, Spencer Novick, and what looks like his audition tape. Like, he's moving like an alien or a monster. If you look Spencer Novick up, you will discover that he used to perform in Cirque du Soleil. And in AHS, he's going to be playing Pale Person. And that's on IMDb. Like, nothing is ever concrete on IMDb. Like, take all that shit with a grain of salt. Anyone can put anything on there. So we have the teeth. Oh, the teeth look like they could be vampire teeth. They also look like they could be like vampire, siren, mermaid teeth. But we also have the clue of the episode 8 of 1984. So one of the clues could have been this line.
It's funny because back in the 70s, all anyone cared about was Bigfoot and aliens, the Loch Ness Monster, all that Leonard Nimoy in search of shit.
So basically urban legends, and this caused me to look up urban legends from Massachusetts. The first thing I stumbled on was the Bridgewater Triangle. And girl, like, I never knew about this, but apparently it's like the Massachusetts version of the Bermuda Triangle. One of my friends lives in Massachusetts, and I like hit her up like, have you heard of this? And like, she knew exactly what I was talking about. And it's like, it's creepy as shit. So anyway, I start looking into this Massachusetts style Bermuda Triangle, and I discover that FX, the network that owns AHS, bought the rights to a book that is titled The Bridgewater Triangle and is doing a show on this already. Like, there is a show in the works by FX about this Bermuda Triangle of Massachusetts. So, like, there are stories about aliens, cults, animal sacrifices, all kinds of shit. Like, to actually explain it, I need to do a whole video on it. And if that's something you want, I got you, because I did so much like digging on this fucking triangle of Massachusetts. I got you. So I think, right, that this season is definitely about urban legends. Like, why not make it about urban legends, especially if you're telling 2 stories? So one of the popular urban legends of Provincetown is the Black Flash, and it has led to lots of people assuming the Black Flash will appear in season 10 of American Horror Story, played by Spencer Novick. So the Black Flash is an urban legend in Provincetown. Apparently in the 1930s, 1940s, the Black Flash first appeared. Children reported a sinister figure lurking in the dunes behind the trees. They described it as 8 foot tall, dressed in all black, long black cape with a hood that covered his head and a flaming blue eyes. And And the adults were like, these children are crazy, like, fuck out of here. But then a lady encountered the black flash. It like jumped out on her from the bushes. She claimed it made like a buzzing sound, like an insect. Apparently, the black flash could move really fast and jump like at a crazy height. Like, there is one report that police had him surrounded and he jumped a 10-foot fence or some shit. The last time the black flash appeared was in 1945. Children were playing in the yard and saw the black flash approaching them through the fog. The black flash kind of matches like this picture that Ryan Murphy posted. This is probably one creature whose movements are so fast that it's captured in one single frame. Like, it looks foggy, he's tall, he's dressed in all black, like he fits the description of the black flash. The black flash is an urban legend. So yeah, we might be getting urban legends and we might be getting the black flash, but it's actually very likely that we will not get the black flash alone. I think it could be like this overall theme might be multiple urban legends with an overall like theme of hysteria and how it makes people completely fucking insane. Like, for example, in seaside towns like this, in the winter, it's dead. Like, in the summer, it's booming with tourists. The beaches are packed. The businesses are booming. But in the winter, all the seasonal employees go home. The beaches are empty. It's dead quiet and isolated. Have you ever been to like a seaside town like this in winter? It's actually really eerie, especially in the Northeast where it's freezing, and then a thing called cabin fever can set in. Anytime I think like cabin fever, like I think it's like The Shining, I think Stephen King, I think psychological horror. But I could be wrong because I'm guessing, bitch. Like, I'm guessing. I don't know. Like, I'm not Ryan Murphy. So Ryan Murphy also posted this picture of Macaulay Culkin and Leslie Grossman. They are totally dressed in 1970s fashion. The fur hat, the fur coats, the cardigan Macaulay Culkin has on screams 70s. The caption on the picture is actually a quote from Shakespeare, and it says, "Something wicked this way comes." So in Shakespeare's play Macbeth, one of the three witches speaks it. It's an announcement of a coming monster, an approaching monster, a monster that the witches created. By the pricking of the thumb, something wicked this way comes. Macbeth. They're actually talking about Macbeth. The play starts as Macbeth being like a hero. The witches are evil and like they hate humans due to their prophecy for him of him becoming king. He's like their project. He's like their creation. This ambition like burns through him and he descends into like pure fucking evil, violence, dark shit. Like, and then he's riddled with guilt and fear. So he decides to like seek out the witches and they know he's coming. And as he approaches, one of the witches turns to her sister and says, like, by the pricking of the thumb, something wicked this way comes. Shakespeare, in my opinion, is overrated sometimes, but not Macbeth. Like, Macbeth is solid. So there very well may be witches in Provincetown. First of all, Coven is my favorite season ever of American Horror Story. So I'm all here for it. Like, I'm all here for witches. Give me witches. But at the same time, are we really going to do witches again? But what would make it more interesting when we talk about witches? If the witches actually created the Black Flash. Like, I feel like Massachusetts is witch country. Like, hello, Salem. I think Leslie Grossman might just be playing a witch from the Salem Coven. Like, this would fit into the hysteria theme because the Salem witch trials were straight up hysteria. So the double feature could be By the Sea, the witches coming to America and settling in Salem, and how fear, panic, and hysteria caused the Salem witch trials. And By the Sand could be 1970s cabin fever, where the witches are getting some payback on the descendants of the descendants who killed their descendants through the means of different monsters from urban legends. But what do I know? You know, I'm just guessing, bitch. There is also a lot of talk about aliens. So being by the sand, people are like, aliens, it's the desert. Like, it could like literally actually be aliens, because the 1970s was all about like unexplained aliens, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, all of it. It could be a season of just urban legends telling one grander story, and I'm here for it. So when I saw the teeth, I wanted mermaids and I wanted pirates and like a ghost ship, but I'm not sure that we will get that. unless they fall into some urban legends. But what do you make of all of this? Let me know in the comments. I'm planning to do a theory video with one of my subscribers where we're going to talk about how this season of AHS might tie back to Freak Show and some other crazy theories. And that will be out next week. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks to everyone that supports me on Patreon. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and join the Sweet Summer family. Okay, my sweet summer children, have a good day.